A tourist sailed to the most forbidden island in the world. He died. The world is full of many amazing places and cultures that many people would kill to see or be a part of. But what happens when one man decided to sail to one of the most restricted islands in the world? Well, that's exactly what we'll be discussing today. So make sure to watch this video to the very end to find out more. And do you and forget to subscribe if you have UN so you won't miss out on future videos like this. Welcome to our channel. In 2006, a man named John Allen Chai embarked on a journey that would ultimately lead to his demise. His mission was to deliver a message to the Sentinelese, an isolated tribe living on North Sentinel Island in the Andaman Sea. Believing he was chosen by God, Shah wanted to share his Christian faith with the Sentinelese, who are known for their primitive lifestyle and hostile attitude towards outsiders. Despite knowing that non-Russians were not allowed on the island, Shah decided to go ahead with his plan anyway. John Allen Shah was born on January 1943 in Greenville, Texas, USA. He grew up in a Christian family and from a young age showed great interest in missionary work. After graduating high school, Chow enlisted in the United States Marine Corps and served as an infantryman during the Vietnam War. After leaving the military, he studied at Dallas Theological Seminary and became a pastor. Chow traveled to various countries spreading his religious beliefs, including the Philippines, South Africa, India, and Thailand. In 1981, Shah moved to Port Blair, India, where he began working for the New Tribes Mission, a Christian missionary organization based in Sanford, Florida. This organization focuses on reaching isolated indigenous people with the Christian gospel. It was there that Chow became interested in the Sentinelese, an isolated tribe living on North Sentinel Island in the Andaman Sea. According to reports, Chow became obsessed with converting the Sentinelese to Christianity and spent much of his time studying their language and culture. He also raised funds from fellow missionaries for an expedition to the island. After gathering enough money, Shah bought a boat and named it the Dove. On November 2006, he set sail from Port Blair towards North Sentinel Island. Along with him on the voyage was a rubber dinghy, 2 outboard motors, an aluminum boat, 2 machetes, a shovel, a Bible, a megaphone, a camera, and some soccer balls. These items were meant to be gifts for the Sentinelese, and the tools would help him survive on the island. Upon arriving at the island, Shah attempted to communicate with the Sentinelese by imitating their sounds. When they responded by yelling and making strange gestures, he thought they were trying to tell him something important. Despite not understanding their language, he believed they were trying to tell him that God had sent him to bring them the gift of Christianity. Chow began approaching the island in his boat. However, he soon realized that the Sentinelese were becoming increasingly agitated by his presence. They were seen running around the beach, yelling and making strange gestures. Determined to deliver his message, Chow decided to go ashore despite the Sentinelese's hostility. He left his boat in the water and waded onto the beach. As he approached the shore, the Sentinelese continued to yell and make strange gestures. Some of them carried bows and arrows, while others brandished spears. Despite the danger, Chow continued walking towards them. He reached out to shake hands with some of the Sentinelese, but they responded by throwing stones at him. Undeterred, Chow retrieved his suitcase from his boat and opened it, revealing the gifts he had brought for the Sentinelese. He took out a soccer ball and tried to kick it around with the natives. However, the Sentinelese became angry when Chow kicked the ball into the water and they began pelting him with more stones. Realizing that he had upset the natives, Chow picked up his suitcase and retreated to his boat. As he was leaving, the Sentinelese continued to yell and make strange gestures. Some of them ran along the beach while others stood in the water waving their arms. Chow got into his boat and started the engine. He maneuvered the vessel away from the island, all the while keeping an eye on the Sentinelese. As the story goes, the Sentinelese continued to yell and make strange gestures as Chow's boat disappeared into the horizon. They had successfully defended their island and driven the outsider away. From that day forward, the Sentinelese continued to live in their secluded paradise, away from the prying eyes of the outside world. The island itself is located in the Andaman Sea and is covered in lush vegetation. It is home to a variety of wildlife, including monkeys, lizards, and birds. The climate is hot and humid, with temperatures ranging from 70 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit throughout the year. The Sentinelese people are believed to have lived on the island for thousands of years. They are believed to be the only surviving members of their species, and are thought to have evolved separately from other humans. They are believed to have been isolated from the outside world for so long that they have developed their own language and customs. The Sentinelese are known for their primitive lifestyle. They live in small huts made of wood and leaves and have no concept of modern technology. They hunt and gather food and have no knowledge of farming or domestication. They are also known for their hostility towards outsiders. In the past, they have attacked anyone who has set foot on their island, regardless of their intentions. The island is considered to be a forbidden place, and outsiders are not allowed to enter. In fact, the Indian government has imposed a strict no-go zone around the island in order to protect both the Sentinelese and the visitors. Any boats or aircraft that come too close to the island are often turned back by the Indian Navy. It is believed that the Sentinelese people have a unique genetic makeup that sets them apart from other humans. According to some reports, they have been isolated from other human populations for so long that they have developed their own distinct genetic markers. This means that they may have some traits that are not found in other humans, such as immunity to certain diseases or resistance to snake bites. However, despite their unique genetic makeup, the Sentinelese are still vulnerable to certain illnesses that can be brought to them by outsiders. For example, they have no natural immunity to diseases such as measles and influenza, which can be deadly to them. That's why the Indian government has taken such drastic measures to protect them from the outside world. Unfortunately, not everyone respects the restrictions placed on the island. In the past, there have been several incidents of people attempting to sneak onto the island. In 2006, a man named John Allen Chow attempted to deliver a message to the Sentinelese, but he was killed by the natives. Since then, the Indian government has increased security around the island to prevent any further incidents. That brings us to the tragic death of John Allen Chow was a Christian missionary who was killed by members of the Sentinelese tribe in 2006 after he illegally entered their island. Chow was part of a group of missionaries who believed that they had been chosen by God to spread Christianity to the Sentinelese. However, the Sentinelese were hostile towards outsiders and had no interest in converting to Christianity. Despite this, Chow decided to risk his life and sneak onto the island. He used a rubber dinghy to approach the shore and left his boat in the water. He then waded onto the beach and approached the Sentinelese people, who were seen running around the shore, yelling and making strange gestures. Chow attempted to communicate with them by imitating their sounds, but this only seemed to agitate them further. The Sentinelese were armed with bows and arrows and spears, and they began pelting Chow with stones. Chow then picked up his suitcase and attempted to return to his boat. However, as he was leaving, he was shot in the neck with an arrow. The Sentinelese then fled into the jungle and Chow was left mortally wounded on the beach. When Chow's body was recovered, it was found that he had been shot at close range with a poisoned arrow. He had also suffered multiple injuries from being hit with stones. Chow's death was a tragic reminder of the dangers of trespassing on private property and the importance of respecting other cultures. The Sentinelese had clearly stated that they did not want any visitors on their island, and Chow's decision to ignore their wishes had cost him his life. Since then, the Indian government has increased security around the island in order to prevent any further incidents. It is now illegal to enter the island without a permit, and anyone caught trespassing is subject to heavy fines or imprisonment. What do you think about the story of John Allen Chow? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. We hope you enjoyed this video, and we encourage you to subscribe to our channel for more exciting content. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.